Hello everybody, and welcome to another video of the Jeremy Crazy 30 promotion series of Pro Wrestling Sim. Now, I have done, between the last video to now, added a brand. Well, kind of added brands to it. Added a whole set of wrestlers. And added titles, and so now we have 2 shows per month now with adding the brand. As you can see, the Jeremy Crazy 31st event of the month is kind of like the first brand show, so to speak, and then Jeremy Crazy 30 Live Pro Wrestling is the main people that we've had for now 6 months since we're in June. And overall in general have made the people that we have had for 6 months now written contracts, and then having the first event of the month have pay per appearance contracts, and then eventually hopefully they get written contracts. So the reason why I have it pay per appearance is because within this event, yes, I may use all of them, but in future events, like for the July one, I may not use all of them. So the cost will go down, and then we're going to get merchandise sales from the people who are in the written contracts and everything else. So that's what I'm kind of going based off of. Yeah, they're the same amount of time, and I could use all the superstars if I do like the algorithm that I've been doing with like 10-minute match or 10-minute angles and 5-minute matches. But I may want them longer, especially with championship matches. I kind of make them longer by 10 minutes, but overall in general, with going into the advertisement time, that's what I've been kind of doing within these matches. But if I don't want to do that and then just like shrink down the time and may not use all of the superstars, like some of them will have breaks or whatnot, then they would be pay per appearance as far as that way. That this will be their first event. We're getting some titles initiated as Kofi Ojori won the heavyweight championship the last video, and so they will be start implementing now and starting getting the storylines a little bit more heat, and overall in general for the popularity to go up with it, and to help us get those goals of the 70, 80, and 90% to get the additional $250,000 or $500,000 or the million, and also extra popularity when it comes to per region, to help us out in that way. So that way we get closer to getting a network deal and getting more revenue as in our promotion. So overall in general, we have upcoming events, and then contract expiries within 2026, because a lot of them are 5-year deals. And so we can look at our finances right now, and knowing that sponsorships, we're just getting sponsorship money. Merchandise, since we've been giving people written contracts, $311 that we're getting in merchandise. And then we did have, staggering overall, like, consistent of with production and everything, but then we decided to increase it to risk it all, because we have, $900 million. It's not like we're gonna run out of money anytime soon, but then doing the $3 million, so it may just increase when we have more than one, but I think more than one show, so we will see how this goes overall. I thought it was just, once that it hits, but we will see. But yeah, we did sign a lot of superstars as Aaron Neri was added. Added some staff to it to be on that side. Allison Ray, we've already had Amelia Bean. We can kind of sort, filter. The only thing I wish they could do is we could sort by brand. That way when it comes to your roster, you can sort by brand and everything. But Amelia Bean was new. Amy Stone is new. Barbara Page. Kitten Ochoa. Courtney Delaney. The Eliases, Browning and Zuinga. Then we got Ezra Turner. Harper Patel, Haiti Peck, and so on and so forth, and you'll get to know who these people are when it comes to this event coming up. So, had to kind of simulate a day. Usually I stop at the first day of the month, but with trying to get a new roster set in place with young people, try to get 21 to 22 year olds and seeing what kind of star capabilities they have, because then we could have them for long periods of time. Even at the age of 30 and above, we would still have them for a while, but they could retire or get injured. I would rather have a young gun than someone like close to like 40 and something like that, because you never know within this game that injuries could be factor when it comes to that stuff. So we are going to simulate to Friday the 11th. We'll simulate 8 days, and then we probably have people who have failed drug tests. Alright, so on steroids, talk calmly about it. You're right, I'll cut it out. Thanks for understanding. Kimani Livingston. Talk calmly. Okay, good talk. He's probably going to fail again. Oh, so soft drugs and steroids. Alright, we're going to do a last chance approach. Sorry, I'll clean up my act. Thanks for understanding. Alright, so that shouldn't be a problem. Now we got positive on steroids. Talk calmly about it. Right, I'll cut it out, because I don't tolerate any of this. Hard drugs. Okay, that is a last chance overall. Whatever, man. Alright, so she's kind of just like, it is what it is. Hard drugs. Last chance. What are you going to do? Fire me? I mean, I can. Or I'll just, Alright, so she understands. Talking calmly about this stuff. Push request. I'm gonna reject it because A, you failed a drug test, and B, you want to push right away. What? No. You just joined the company. What? It's like you want to raise right away when you haven't even started? It's not how this works. Simulate 3 days, nothing. Next day, nothing in the emails. Today's our first event. Local indie holds indie wrestling promotion, indie wrestling show. Huh. Sir. Other surprise indie promotions? Or Or are there like other indie promotions outside of the promotions that are already set? That may be new. But anyway, we're going to get into our event here. It's already pre-booked. Normally within this series I would book it as going along, but that's just going to make the video go even longer because we have 2 shows, and with all the wrestlers that I signed and everything, I just thought, hey, book it prior. That way all I do is hit start show, talk about what's going on, and then move on to the next show like I do with the other series with the state battle promotion and everything else. That everything is going to be kind of pre-booked at this point, unless if I were to pre-book this show, the Rising Stars, or hit auto book and see what happens, and then kind of book with you on the other show of what I know what's going on with that show more than this show, because this is just a starting point. It's not necessarily anything set in stone, but every single person in this roster for the Rising Stars is in a storyline, so keep that in mind as well. So we're going to start the show. Alright, Nola Skinner and Sarah Goncalves. Now, these people, when I looked at these people up on their active traits, those green traits that I've been kind of seeing, that I will show at the end of the show that they had, overall kind of not necessarily confusing, but overall not a like distinctive pattern. Like, it's kind of like heel and face kind of overall combined, and so these people don't have a actual character. Obviously they are face and heel, but they don't have like a distinctive character of like wholesome face or classic heel, badass, arrogant, and all that stuff. So these people are kind of working their kinks to find out who they are overall within the storyline of these two. So Nola Skinner cuts a promo on Sarah Goncalves with a 35% to start off their storyline, their rivalry going on into this coming up events of what I'm going to do with these individuals. Then we have another storyline here with Kami Livingston and Nikki Cooper. Same thing overall with Nola Skinner and Sarah. That Kaimani and Naiku, they both don't have a distinctive character. They had the same kind of green, not the same overall in general green traits, but kind of, having a spin-off between, heel and face, and a whole combination of, you can't really have a distinct character, and so kind of just letting it play out. And this is their first match against each other. That the star power of Livingston added to the match, and the intimidating presence added to the match, and he was struggling for breath, and the vocal crowd were in love with the segment, and the reaction made it even better. So he gained 0.2 off of that, and Cooper didn't gain anything. He lost 0.1. So they had a absolute calculation of a 66, with the 1.5 star for a 60% match quality, and then a true score of 63, but with the applied of the 78% makes it a 49% final score. And we have tag teams of Elias and Elias, and then Nicholas and Taylor Cardenas are another tag team, and it seems like everyone gained popularity off of it, which is pretty nice. That it starts off with the Eliases making their entrance with the 74%, and then they cut a promo, and then Nicholas and Taylor Cardenas makes their entrance to increase it to a 79%, and then Taylor, Nicholas and Elias, they engage in a brawl right away after being like cut in the promo, and then everybody in backstage had to pull them apart to have it as an 87% that the badass gimmick helped Taylor and Nicholas, the star power of Taylor and Nicholas, the star power of Ronan, which is part of the backstage staff, and Valentino is part of the backstage staff with the good looks of him. And then the gimmick helped Nicholas and Taylor, and then their star power added to it, and then their star power added to making their entrance overall. So to start off this tag team storyline, engage in a brawl right away after, the Eliases were cutting a promo. They come in and just out of nowhere starting a brawl and get a true segment score of a 90, and then the applied multiplier production is a 87%, but it makes it a 78%. Then we got a first match between Kaden Ocha and Romeo Mooney. These two, going at it with each other, kind of starting off and see where each of them is going to set where they need to be. Romeo wins the match. He got a negative 1/2 star with a 39% match quality. The 75 calculation, and then a true segment score of 57 to make it a 45%. Romeo gained 0.2, Ochia lost 0.1. The good looks of Ochoa, and then he was struggling for breath. Mooney had a boost of his gimmick. The good looks of Mooney and the vocal crowd were in love with the segments, and then Mooney did the heavy lifting of the storyline together. Then we got Isla Carter and Poppy Carter going at it with each other. Isla Carter is going to be sending a promo to Poppy on the star power and good look of Isla added to the beat, and then the star power of Poppy added to the beat, and it's an 82%, and they had a 94% true segment score. Then we have our first matches with Shoko Chiba and Haiti Peck. Haiti Peck had a boost of her gimmick to the match. The good looks of Haiti added to the match. The star power of Shoko added to the match, and then she was struggling for breath at the end of the match. And the vocal crowd were in love with it, and then Shoko did the heavy lifting. So Haiti lost 0.1 and Shoko gained 0.2. They had a absolute calculation of 78% with a negative half-star match with a 46% final score, but a true segment score of a 59. Then we have our Janiyah Hickman and Maria Alejandra. I'm not going to botch that last part of the name, but Janiyah is cutting a promo on Maria, trying to, prove herself a little bit and that she will do better than Maria. And the good looks of Janiyah added to the beat and got a 65% with the true segment score of 75% of the beat. Then we got an angle involving Tatsuro and Riley. Tatsuro gained 0.2. It was a video of Tatsuro showing Tatsuro, and then Riley Maddox was cutting a promo for a 64%. 38 went the video, and then their true segment score was 59%. Overall within the segment of cutting a promo in a video. Then we have the Battle of the Lucas. Luca Barone and Luca Gibson. The intimidating presence of Luca added to it. The vocal crowd were in love with this segment, and then Luca Gibson did the heavy lifting. Gibson won the match. He gained 0.2, and Barone lost 0.1. They had a true absolute value calculation of 69%. Negative half-star match with a 39% match quality. And then they had a true segment score of 54%, but a 42% final score. Then we have next is Ezra Turner and Oliver Hayes. They both gained 0.2. Ezra talks about Oliver Hayes, and then Oliver Hayes cuts a promo on Ezra. The unstable gimmick of Oliver Hayes worked well with the story beat. Ezra got a 45. Oliver Hayes got a 27%. They had a true segment score of 41, but the final score was a 36. Then we got tag team action with Courtney Delaney, Paige Martin versus Barbara Page and Amy Stone. So the intimidating presence of Delaney and Martin added to it. Martin was struggling for breath at the end, and then Barbara Page added a boost of her gimmick. The intimidating presence of Page added to the match, and then good looks of Amy Stone, and she was struggling for breath. And then Barbara Page did the heavy lifting of putting the story together, and she won the match. Courtney and Martin lost 0.1, and then Page and Stone gained 0.2 from it. They had a absolute calculation of a 74 with a half-star match of 50%, and then a 62% true segment score with a 49% final score. Then we have Poppy Carter cuts a promo on Isla Carter, the star power of them both, and then the good looks of Isla Carter added to the beat for 73%, with a true segment score of 84%. Then we have Amelia Bean and Nakayo dueling it out with each other. She had a boost of her gimmick, star power added to the match. The vocal crowd were in love with it. She did the heavy lifting. She gained 0.2. She won the match, and Amelia Bean lost 0.1. With the true absolute value of a 66%. And then we have a match quality of 70% with a 2.5 star match. And then a 68 true segment score, 53% final score. Larry Norris and Taku Aikida were involved with a angle segment of a video showing Larry Norris and a video showing Taku Aikida. 85% for Norris, and Aikida had a 74% to have an 80%. A true segment score of 91 with an 80 final score. Then we have an angle including Aaron Nuri and Will Cannon having a popularity increase of 0.2, 29% for Aaron Nuri, and a 32 with Will Cannon Neri matches made segment. The star power of Will Cannon added to both of them. They had a true segment score of 35 with a 31% final score. And then the main event of Candice Mary versus Taylor Ashley. The star power of and good looks of Candice added to the match. And then the star power of Taylor added to the match. The intimidating presence of Taylor added to the match. The vocal crowd were in love with it. We have a 4-star match. Candice gained 0.6. Taylor Ashley lost 0.2. They had a 79% absolute calculation score with a 85% match quality. And then we had a 64% final score, 82% true segment score. And they gained 0.6 popularity. And since it's past that 70% threshold, that is $250,000 added at the beginning of next month. So we have one show that gained $250,000 for the show. Let's see if the main eventers can also keep the track going and see if they can double that and make it 500,000 for the promotion, or if they can go even farther and get $750,000 with the 80%, because they've gotten 71% and 75% these past two rounds with the main eventer squad, and now with the Rising Stars, we've gotten a 71% first try. So overall, in general, they worked hard for it and they gave a good score. We will end the show, and we are now at a 3.6. And then WWE had viewers of 3,002, or no, Impact had 3,002, and WWE had 2,866 for their YouTube. We unfortunately don't have any when it comes to network deals. So we sold out our first show, so we got that 1,050 overall. And then we have 13 days until our live show for the main roster, so to speak. We're gonna have these emails with these health checks. Talk calmly about it. You're right, I'll cut it out. Barbara Page. Gonna talk calmly about it. Okay, good talk. Next time it may be a fine. Last chance. What are you gonna do? Fire me? Okay, next time for him is gonna be a fine. Steroids, last chance. Whatever, man. Okay, it may be a fine, just so you know. Hard drugs, okay. We're gonna give you a small fine. You're right, oh sorry, I'll clean up. So, he's gotten a small fine, so he may not like me. And then we have AEW getting 2,426, and then New World Japan getting 164 for their YouTube stuff. It's probably going to be one more Friday that I'm going to have to, or Monday, I should say, dealing with these health checks. We're going to do a small fine for you. Alright, I'm sorry, I'll clean up, because you seem like a as soon as I start doing fines, there we go. Everyone's gonna start cleaning up, which is good. Ring of Honor, 2,829. Alright, so we will simulate to the 24th. Next day. And we are with our main roster people that have all that set up for myself. Alright, so we have Elaine Garcia and Armani cutting a promo on Allison Ray and Kabuki Goxi. Elian Garcia won the match for Ellen and Armani, so they're kind of just like shoving it in their face of like, hey, we're a more dominant team, and we are not like an official tag team right now. We're more dominant than you guys, and you guys are officially a tag team. Like, this is unnecessary. And they got an 87% score with a 100% true segment score. So they must have cut a promo pretty good. Then we got the Badass Duo versus Ryder Wood and Qua Maris. Ooh, alright, so this is going to be new because this has not happened with me before. As you saw on the bottom, that someone got hit with an injury. So, Xavier Trevino had intimidating presence. King Burke had star power. Trevino was strong with breath at the end. Qua Maris had a boost of his gimmick for his performance. Ryder Wood was strong for breath, and so was Maris was strong for breath. The Vulcan crowd were in love with this segment, made their reaction even better. Ryder Wood did the heavy lifting. Now, Trevino and Burks did lose, but Trevino didn't lose anything, and Burks did lose negative 0.1. And then Ryder and Quaz gained 0.2. He got hit with an injury. We'll see what kind of injury he got hit with. May have to stall this tag team a bit while he recovers. Got a 70% absolute value, and then a half-star match with a 50% match quality, and then a true segment score of 60 with the 47%. Overall, don't like that he got hit with an injury. We'll have to wait and see what happens. And we got a brawl here in the angle between Lily Martin and Megan Pyres. So they gain 0.2. Lily Martin makes an entrance. She talks about Megan Pyres. Star power of Megan Pyres added to the beat, 82 to 62. And Megan Pyres makes her entrance with the 74%. And then they engage in a brawl, which makes it up to a 78% with the star power of Megan added to everything besides the entrance of Lily Martin. And they had a true Sigma score of 84 with a 73 final score. Then we got a match of a negative 1 star, 34% match quality with an absolute value of 48%. With a true segment score of 41 and a 32% final score. Alien Bauer had star power to it, same with Lila McConnell. She also had a boost of her gimmick. Intimidating presence of McConnell added to the match. McConnell was strong for breath. Vocal crowd were in love with this segment. The reaction made it even better. It didn't feel like anyone had the psychology knowledge needed to put on a match of this length together, causing it to fall apart as time went on. Alright, so like 5 minutes is probably the perfect for them. So Alien Balor lost negative 0.1, and Lila McConnell gained 0.2. They've just been battling at it with each other, and overall in general, now we know psychology knowledge is needed for the length of match between these two. And we have Lucia Fowler with Kaio Watanabe as part of their storyline. So Lucia, last event, won the match, and so she's coming out and cutting a promo from Kaio Watanabe. So they both gain 0.2. Lucia Fowler makes her entrance to get an 89%, and then she cuts a promo. Her arrogant gimmick helps, and her good looks help to get a 66. So they have a true segment score of a 79% and a 68% final score. And we have Money is Life and Faces That Run the Place for the tag team titles. Henry Cardoso was drawn for breath at the end. Jaime Pavlov had a boost of gimmick. Kevin Vera had a boost of the gimmick. Jaime and Kevin were struggling for breath. Vocal crowd were in love with it. Jaime and Kevin have pretty bad chemistry as a team, which hurt the match slightly. And Jaime Pavlov did the heavy lifting. So even though they have bad chemistry together, they still were able to win the match and get the tag team titles. They both gained 0.2. Henry Cardoso and Naim lost 0.1 together. And then they had a 65% absolute value. And then 50% with the half-star match. And then this 57% true segment score, but a 44% final score. Then we got Hamas, Johnson, and Lashley Allen. Hamas making a promo, trying to just keep storyline pumping and flowing. Overall, they both gained 0.2, 59% when he made his entrance, and then a 64% when he started talking. They had a true segment score of 73 with a 64% final score. Then we got heels versus faces for the tag team titles. We had the intimidating presence and good looks of Jada Acosta, Mackenzie Herman, and Linnell were struggling for breath at the end. The vocal crowd were in love with the segment. Noah did the heavy lifting. And then Linnell and Noah are the new tag team champions. Jada and Mackenzie lost 0.1, and then Linnell and Noah gained 0.2. They had an absolute value of a 69%, 66 match quality with a 2-star match, and then a 67% true segment score with a 53%. And then Ellie Thompson won the match last time, and so she is cutting a promo of Rini Takahashi, and they both gained 0.2. When she came out as 74, but when she started talking it was a 52. And we have a 63% true segment score with the 54% final score. And then we have the Every Event Championship that was crowned to Nathaniel Williamson. Flynn Allen has star power added to it. The vocal crowd were in love with it, and then the psychology knowledge needed for the match of this length. So 5 minutes probably for them is good. Flynn Allen lost 0.1, and then Williamson gained 0.2. They had a absolute value of 79%. 51% half-star match, a 51% final score with a true segment score of 65. Then we have a Tama Murphy and Aaron Willis. Tama Murphy hasn't been doing the greatest, but he is cutting a promo to Aaron Willis. 57% when he started walking, and his score improved as he was starting to talk and cutting his promo. 85% true segment score with the 74% final score. Then we got Roderick Riley and Liam Bailey. And now Roderick Riley is currently with WWE as well. He's not in an exclusive written contract, otherwise I wouldn't be able to sign him, but he is with a written contract with us. It's not exclusive, but he is helping us out as well when it comes to merchandise and finances and that stuff with his popularity. So he had star power added to it. Liam Bailey add a boost of his gimmick as well. And the star power of Liam Liam was strong for breath. The vocal crowd were in love with the segment. Roger Griley did the heavy lifting. He is the new mid-card champion. He gained 0.2. Liam Bailey lost 0.1. They had an absolute value of 82%. A match quality of 48% with a half-star match. A true segment score of 65, but a final score of 51. And then we have our main event, so to speak, of Kofi celebrating that he won the heavyweight championship against Dallas Jones. Kofi makes his entrance. The entrance added to the segment. The unstable gimmick added well to the story beat. He had a 76% true segment score and a 67% final score. 76 true segment and 67 final score, with a 0.2 gained in his popularity. And they also gained $250,000 by being a 76% show rating, which is great. Then we can add 0.2 to any region, because once we gain 70% or above, we can add 0.1 to any of the regions. So now we can gain 0.2 since both shows had 70% or above. And we are increasing pretty fastly when it comes to that. So we had 402 people coming, so almost at the 500 limit. And we had 4,221 in ticket sales. Now he came down with an injury, so he's gonna miss some time. Alright. Go to the office, see my roster, see if there's until May of next year. Alright, that's gonna be kind of difficult to keep a storyline going for almost a year. Alrighty, but he is on a written contract and he's getting paid $425 per month. It's like you would want to release him, but you don't, because he's a valuable asset to the crew. And he's 19, so he's pretty young. Alright, so that is a bummer that he is going to be gone for a year with a neck injury. Hopefully he's alright. Overall, in general, we don't want anyone to have injuries. But, you know, in the wrestling world, things happen. Bad moves, or, you know, situation was going for the right move, but a bad finish, and everything else. So that is going to be a bummer. I'll work with it. You know, this is a game, it's a simulator. And also in real life, you just work with, you know, things on the fly and have to adapt to what is put in front of you. So we are going to simulate to the first day of the next month. Alright, so we got 2 emails. Offered a contract by Impact, and he leaves. Alright. So he got offered an exclusive deal with Impact. Alright. is going to be in a good storyline too. So we're going to have to end... we can edit it and hire somebody else to fill in that spot. But yeah, these are all the different storylines that I have implemented, so people are gaining popularity and not just like flowing with different people overall in general, and not just using them to use them, that they have a meaning and overall in general, and trying to gain the heat of the people and be involved within the company, and see what ones are getting stronger and what ones are getting weaker, and overall in general, and what ones should be towards the main event and what ones should be towards the beginning of the show, or having a strong one in the beginning, kind of flow, may have a weaker one in the middle and then a strong one at the end. So overall in general, we still have to add 500,000 and also 0.2 to any region of popularity. So we're going to go to our merchandise, and overall in general, Roderick Riley gave us 274 within the month of June. Flynn Allen got 207. Liam Bailey 142. So on and so forth. So we got Trevino that gave us 2, Allen 4. Obviously we have plenty of them, but our main person is going to be Roderick Riley, and it goes up from there. Armani is the last one to be in the triple digits. Kofi, our heavyweight championship, gave us 99. And Dallas Jones is probably right at like almost bare minimum, $14, because he wasn't involved probably in anything, so no one really bought his stuff. But he will be in the near future. It's not like, oh, he didn't win the championship, he's not going to be used. He'll be used overall in general. But anyway, we go to the database, promotions. I'm going to look at contracts real quick. I'm not trying to change anything, but where can I find them? It's a written contract. I guess it would be... But it's not like... I wonder if they give them written contracts as in AI, that it's like exclusive right away, and so then they just get pulled. Or if it was pay per appearance, they're not safe at all. So... but he was going to be in a good storyline overall in general. But the Rising Stars is kind of like, overall in general, for sports, is your practice squad. They are just they're still trying to find out. They may have been given a character, and we'll see if they can use them, wisely or overall effectively to gain crowd. Popularity and increase on everything when it comes to that nature. And I will be adding calculation wise, because I feel like it's going to be 992 to 39845 when you add 500,000 to it, if my math is correct. But I want to make sure. Yeah, that's what it'll be. So it'll be 2-2. Save changes on that. Yeah, there's Latin America that had 0.1. Yeah. And 4.2. It like goes to the nearest whole number, and I wonder if I should just do it per one, but then it'll go by way faster. Or if I do the 0.1 or even the 0.5 for doing it, but then it would increase to 1 because both shows did it and stuff like that. So promotions, Latin America, 0.1, I do 0.1 and 0.1. Alright, there we go. So we have Oceania, Asia, and Latin America, 0.1. We have 4.2 when it comes to North America. And then we can also kind of look at Aaron Nero, that he's gained 3.9 to 40.8 within one show. 1.8 within a show. Wrestling skill, he's gained 0.1. Okay. And then stamina, he's gained 1.5. Alright, so him from starting out, so now he's 73.4. He's 20 years old. Wrestling skill he's increased to from 24 to a 26.7. And stamina wise he's increased too as well. He's at a 55 and he was at a below 53. So they're increasing slowly but surely. And then with her, she was at a 55.5 and now she's a 55.8, so a 56. And then intimidation stays the same, look stays the same. Her skill progress of entertainment has gone up to a 69. Wrestling skill from a 44.8 to a 46.7. So she's gone up tremendously when it comes to that. And she's part of All Elite Wrestling. Alright. And Ken Ocho, his wrestling skill has gone from 20 or from a 19.7 to a 19.8. And then 70, the star power stayed the same. But overall, his North American population has gone down from a 30 to a 29.9. So We have like Jaime Pavlov, who was at a 14.6 to a 17.2 in the matter of winning a championship. The skill has been going up. This was a 53.7 to a 53.8, so 0.1. Psychology 90.1. He's already at a 90, so he's in slowly increasing. And like Kevin, slowly increased too as well, because now he's at a 53.4. So overall, in general, hopefully you've enjoyed the video. You can look at again on what our finances are overall in general. So we went from, having 16, 18 to now negative 35,000 overall within staff wages. But overall in general, we've got from $2,000 to $5,000 within ticket sales. We're almost on to the next level of when it comes to popularity of selling out. We were at 402 out of 500, and then the first show for the Rising Stars has been sold out. So and then when it comes to merchandise, we went from 311 to 1,879. So we've made profit within the venues. But when it comes to overall production, we have not made profit from that, or even the staff wages. So it's still a work in progress. And then network deals, we have nothing because we don't have the population yet. Development, we have nothing, even though these it's probably like a staff wage or whatnot, overall in general. But we have nothing in regards to that. Catering, medical, we have nothing. Eventually, I will add it in as soon as we start seeing the positive side of things. But overall, in general, from using the two venues, we have net gained into a positive of our merchandise and ticket sales. But overall, when it comes to production and all that stuff, we are still in the negatives. So I feel like we got a formula of success of you're starting on the right path. It's a lot of money for staff wages in this production, but overall in general, we got some popularity that is pushing out for having the titles that have been crowned now, and overall in general, new wrestlers from the Rising Stars and now on main eventers. And we will catch you on the next one and see how much the popularity will increase as we are close to the 500, but not there for the main eventers. Have a good one.